tonight on Around the Cooler. Will Auburn football have multiple 800-yard receivers in 2026? And then, Payton Thorne, 2024, or LaNorris Sellers, 2025? Let's go around the cooler.
Yeah! Water Cooler Talk Sports! Around the cooler! Saturday night! Yeah, you know the deal. SEC pride! Yeah, we keep it real. From the plains to the grove, everybody knows it's around the cooler! We talk that score! Talk that score! Water Cooler Talk Sports Network! Every headline, every story! Around the cooler where the fans all meet! We talk that score! This is Around the Cooler! Only on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network.
Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, man? It is your guy, Nick Frazier. We are here for Around the Cooler tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is about to be a great show tonight. Joining me tonight, as always, it is my guy. You can't see him, but you can hear him. Tell him who you are, boss man.
It's your boy, Marcus Fitzpatrick. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Also joining us tonight, man, it is the one and only from the legend himself, Bubba and the old man, Auburn Sports Talk. It is Bubba. What's up, Bubba? How you feeling, my guy?
Feeling great. How are y'all?
Man, we're feeling good. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all so much, man, for rocking with us here tonight around the water cooler here on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network, man. Shout out to Tim, man, Taylor in the chat. What's up, my guy? Shout out to Auburn Dad in the chat. What's up, my guy, man? We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a good discussion, man. We got some great topics for you tonight. Y'all ready to get into it, fellas?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's make this thing happen. Let's go. In the words of Marcus Fitzpatrick, let's go. Let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about it. Oh, man, this is great. Man, Auburn football has not had a 1,000-yard receiver in almost 25 years. We've not had one. But we have some guys that's come in and have come that have had 800-yard seasons and have come close. They have some 800-yard seasons. And we want to sit here and we want to ask the question tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is this the time, is this the year, this the season where we potentially could see multiple 800-yard receivers at Auburn in this offense with Alex Golesh and Jordan Gordon? Is it possible we can see that? You look on the screen at the below, man, you see Keyshawn Singles with 50 receptions, 877 yards, 8 touchdowns, 17.5. Average is what he had last year. Jeremiah Coger, 38 receptions, 597 yards, touchdowns, 15.7 yards average is what he had. And then, of course, Chaz Nimrod, who had a short season, 23 receptions, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, 20-yard average. Particularly could have had more than that, but he ended up having injuries last year and was not able to actually get that thing rocking and rolling what it is. I'm gonna ask y'all the question right here. I'm gonna start with Marcus on this, man. Could we see an 800-yard receiver this year, multiple 800-yard receivers this year in this Auburn offense?
I think we could at least see one. I don't think we see multiple. I don't think this offense is designed to spread the ball around like that. And Golesh already stated that he's going to run the football. I think he got a running back heavy room, and I think he's going to lean very heavily on that running quarterback and those running backs from that depth chart. So I don't think that we will. I think we will get one receiver that get 800, but outside of that, no, I don't think we'll get multiple.
So Marcus says he doesn't think we can have multiple 800-yard receivers in this offense. That's an interesting thought there. Marcus. Bubba, what's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think we're going to be a pretty heavy run team, and I also think that there's going to be a heavy rotation in the slot where Chaz Nimrod's been working at because Deshaun Spencer had a big spring, and they really like Christian Neptune. And then at X with Coger, I think Brian Williams is also going to get heavy snaps. I think Singleton gets there, and I think we probably have a couple 700, 600, and then we're going to be pretty heavy on the run game.
Mob Ties in the chat. What's up, Mob Ties, man? Jay Prince Jr. What's up, rocking with us, man? Appreciate you, my guy. 5 Battle rocking with us in the chat. He said 2 800-yard receivers, man. King Richard in the chat. What's up, King? Richard? To you, my guy. C Hall. What's up, my guy?
Hey, man.
You feeling good? Hope you're feeling great, man. Thank y'all so much, man. I appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us as well. It is your favorite insider, our favorite insider, everybody's favorite insider. It is Ed the Insider. Ed, what's going on, my guy?
Fellas. Hope y'all staying cool today.
Hey,
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
2 800-yard receivers in this offense for Auburn this upcoming season or not?
Yes.
Tell me why, Ant, because I'm on the same boat as you.
I believe that even though I agree with Bubble, but I still think Nimrod is explosive enough to where he hits a lot of deep shots to him, and he can have 8. And Keyshawn Singleton is just a workhorse, man. If you ever watch South Florida film, Keyshawn Singleton, he can get probably 80 for maybe he maybe can get 80 for like over 800.
We have to remember Chaz Nimrod's playing inside now, whereas last year he was playing primarily the X, and he was the best receiver on that roster as an X. But he got here and they kicked him inside so they could get Koger on the field.
So you don't think but Chaz Nimrod got hurt too though, Bubba. That's why I'm like
He did.
I think he plays X on too.
I just don't really think so because he didn't really do that in the spring because Brian Williams was eating a lot of snaps at X. So I think he's going to play inside, and run after catch games just not really his thing.
Here's the thing. I look at offenses that you potentially can comp these teams to, right? And I keep going back to Tennessee. Like it's a talking point. You know, you look at offenses to where, and I'm gonna name another one too. You look at offenses to where there is a similar style of scheme or a similar style of offense that's being run. You look at Tennessee, you look at Mississippi State with what Jeff Lebby did, and you look at what those offenses did in previous years, even with, you know, having a heavy run game, having 1,000-yard rusher on their team. Tennessee had Deshaun Bishop over 1,000 yards as well. They also had both of those teams had 1,000-yard receivers, and the next guy next to them were either at 800 or above 800 or just under 800 yards receiving. So when you look at this offense that Auburn is potentially going to be putting on the field next year, and what we've seen and what we've watched and things and stuff from that nature, why can't we say that we potentially could see 2 800-yard receivers in this offense, Marcus?
I just don't think that he's going to lean. I don't think he's going to spread the ball around to get to multiple 800 receivers. First and foremost, I think it's just set up right now. And he told exactly what he's going to do. It's just set up for him to run the football. I think it's only one football. Carr got to get his carries. Mapson got to get his carries. And Bryson got to get his carries. So and then the quarterback got to get his carries. So it's just like, if we think that we're going to have 2,000-yard running backs and a quarterback that have, like, it's only one football. So to me,
I want to go on the record and say I've never said that I thought we would have 2,000 yards. I never said I thought we would have 2,000-yard backs. The question at that time that I asked was, is it possible that we could see potentially 2,000-yard runners in the backfield? Could we have a 2013 type season to where you have a quarterback that's 1,000-yard and a running back that's 1,000-yard? If my memory serves me correctly, I never said that would happen.
I didn't honestly say you said that, but
No. You said no. I'm just making this. I'm just clearing the air because you said we said, and I'm saying I don't remember me saying that. I can't recall me saying that. So that's why I'm just saying for stateful purposes, because I've said things on this show before. People have come back and said stuff and be like, "Oh, you said." I was like, "Okay, all right, you got me." But here's the thing. I'm just saying the question that was asked at that time was, is it possible we could have a backfield where a quarterback and a running back could be 2,000-yard rushers in the backfield at that particular time? I said it could be. I said it possibly could happen, but I don't think it would. But the question is, when you look at these offenses and ask that and look at what the other comparable offenses are and what they have done with the same type of style of what it is, why can't we say that we would have 2,000-yard receivers in this offense?
Well, let me put it into context. Heupel's only had 2 offenses at Tennessee since he's gotten there where he had multiple 800-yard receivers. That was last year, and that was his first year.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly as far as statistically what Golesh has done. I know they didn't do it last year, but it's not impossible. But also, those groups were last year at Tennessee and Golesh and Heupel's first year at Tennessee. Those receiver rooms weren't as deep as this group. They were not rotating as much as I think this group's going to rotate. And neither of those teams had a quarterback that was as dynamic with his legs as Byron Brown is. Hendon Hooker was a pretty good athlete at quarterback, but he wasn't Byron Brown and definitely not Joey Aguilar.
Okay.
So those teams were consistently throwing the ball over 30 times a game. I don't think that's happening this year.
Okay. We're gonna bring somebody else in on this conversation real quick, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta bring it in, man. You see him all the time with me, majority of the time. He here with me and Marcus majority of the time, all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with us tonight from SEC Zen. It is my guy, your guy, everybody's guy, everybody's favorite Auburn fan. It is Tez. Tez, what's going on, man? How you feeling, my guy?
Man, I'm feeling pretty good, man. What you got?
I'm doing great, Tez. I think your microphone is unplugged a little bit. I think it's unplugged. I think we hear you through your computer speakers. Through your computer speakers.
Oh, all right. Hold on. Give me a second to fix that.
That's fine.
His audio sounds like mine.
It sounds. Yeah. Here you go, Tez. Here you go, Tez. He tried to hide.
Already, man.
He tried to tell.
Hold on.
Bubba strikes again.
Bubba strikes again. That's what it is. Bubba strikes again. But nah, man, tell you why you getting that ready. I just want you to think on this, man. You're looking at this offense, and particularly what it could be this upcoming season. Does this offense have the ability? Well, I know it has the ability. So I don't want to ask that question. That is an easy question to ask. The question I want to ask is, will this offense have two 800-yard receivers at the end of the season? Will we see two 800-yard receivers in this offense when it's all said and done?
Can y'all hear me fine now? Is it better?
You good?
Yes.
Go.
Okay. Great. Two 800-yard receivers for this offense. It's possible. It's possible. The reason why I say that is because it depends on. I expect us to run the ball really well. Despite some of the questions that we have about the offensive line, I just feel like because of the way the offense is set up and the system works, that we will be able to run the ball decently with a quarterback that can run the ball like Byron Brown can, which sets up a lot of explosive plays on the outside. I would say that starting the season, we probably wouldn't be on pace for two 800-yard receivers. But mid-season and going after that, after teams figure out that, like, hey, we got to stop Auburn from running the football, it's definitely a real possibility. I don't see why not. I don't know. The thing is like I don't think the goal of this offense is ever to just have one position reach a certain number. It's just whatever the defense dictates. But I think, like I said, I think we'll be able to run the ball so well that teams will have to commit to that. And with a running quarterback, the defense can be +1 in the box and still have it in the offense still have an advantage. Meaning we can have 5 blockers, 6 defenders in the box. And in the option game, we still have an advantage. So that means that teams will have to commit even more resources to stop the run with a quarterback that's essentially, as Edward would say, a fullback. But if that happens, especially if he has some dynamic games early in the season against some good competition, you come out blazing against a Baylor team, which is, if we can run the ball against that team and put up numbers in the run game, and then moving on into, past the Southern Miss and then Florida game, if we can put up good, solid rushing stats against those teams, later on in that season, that passing game is going to open up. And because of how the system is with the wide splits and the deep choice, it just depends on whether these receivers can make plays after the catch. And I think that they can. I think that's a real possibility. I can see NnORDVPN being an 800-yard receiver or better. And it's funny because because Singleton is kind of seen as the top option as a receiver option. So those two guys probably so. I think you could see that happen. It's a real possibility.
Definitive
I don't know
answer,
if all that makes sense.
definitive answer before we get out of here. Yes or no? Bubba, yes or no? Will it happen?
I think it's less than 50% shot. So no.
Marcus, definitive yes or no? Will it happen?
No.
Whoo, boy, y'all. And I already know your answer, but definitive yes or no? Will it happen?
Man, that man threw for 3,000 yards. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't know if that's a yes or a no.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
all right.
Yes.
Definitive yes or no?
C. I'm gonna say C. Yes.
There it is, man. All right, man. They telling us that they think. They telling us that they think this thing is. I think it will happen. I think we will see two 800+ yard receivers in this offense, just because of the way that it is. And I look at offenses that are similar to what they have done. When you look at Mississippi State, you look at not Texas, but Tennessee, and that tells me right there that they have the ability to do it. You already had one guy that has done it, and then you had a guy in Jeremiah Coger who did not play a majority of the games last year and was close to being, had 600 yards receiving. So that tells me a lot right there. So I'll be interested to see exactly what happens and how it happens. I do think we will run the football as well too. I think this offense is going to be very, very multi-dimensional, but they're going to have a lot of plays as well, and they're going to try to get as many plays as they possibly can in. So I think that helps as well. So it'll be interesting to see as well when we get into the season. Can this be? Can we have two 800-yard receivers in the season? It will be something to think about, man. So hey, we'll take a look at it, and we'll look at it, ladies and gentlemen. The pregame playlist Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Central. Join us every weekday morning and come check us out. Press play on the pregame playlist.
The pregame playlist is your new morning destination. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. Your morning, your sports, your playlist. Click the link below to get NnORDVPN. That's the peace of mind you deserve.
Everybody wants to look like a star when they step out, including you. Hollywood Media has you covered, from clean portraits, corporate events, and athletic events. Hollywood Media has you covered. These aren't just pictures. This is your moment. Follow now on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Hollywood_media with 2 A's. Follow on Facebook at Hollywood Media. Feel like the star you are.
Yes. Yes. Let's go. Whew. Yeah. Oh, yes. Let's go.
Hey, yo, ladies and gentlemen, man, welcome back to Around the Cooler here on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here, man. SEC Media Days is upon us. Next week, we'll be looking at Tampa, Florida, and we'll be looking at a lot of the new coaches and new places, man. And there's a narrative that some of these guys have to be able to win SEC Media Days in order to get that bump and to get that liking from the media. It is what it is. That's the question, man. So we looking at it and we asking the question right now to you all, man. Which new head coach in the SEC, well, new face at a new place, has to win SEC Media Days? Who has to have the best showing when it comes to SEC Media Days that's starting next Monday in Tampa, Florida, man? I'm starting with you on this one.
Man, it's a great question. I'm gonna go with Pete Golden, man. Out of everybody on this list, I'm gonna go with Pete Golden because Pete Golden is following a media favorite in Lane Kiffin. I almost think Lane Kiffin shouldn't even be on this list. We already know that what he's gonna do at a media day. Like, he was born for media days. Like, that's what he does. So I think he's gonna represent Golesh. I feel like him in the media, what I've seen from him in press conferences and stuff at USF, he is what he is. You get what you get with Golesh. So I don't think he's necessarily needs to, and I don't think he's actually going to go out and try to just win media days. Sumrall is probably second on my list under Pete Golden, because Sumrall is highly looked at in the media as he was like the #1 coach when it came to this hiring process, out of all of these guys, Sumrall was the name that was floated around at pretty much all of these schools. Now that I get to Silverfield, he is probably the most unknown. So I take that back. I'm gonna take that back. All right, let me redo that. I'm gonna say Silverfield first.
Okay.
Then Golden, and then probably.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not a lot known about Silverfield right now. Yeah.
Okay, so Texas is going Silverfield, Pete Golden, and Jon Sumrall. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us, it is the man himself. It is the kid. It is the chef. Kid Country. Kid Country, what's going on, my guy? How you feeling, Edward? I think.
What up, man?
Chilling, man.
What's going on, man?
Good. Of this list of new coaches, new faces, and new places, who need to win SEC Media Days next week, in your opinion?
I mean, just put them in a hat and toss them up, and hell, whoever you pull, go with that one. Because at the end of the day, it don't really matter who wins SEC Media Day.
Really? Okay.
Who win football game? At the end of the day, that's all gonna matter. Who put asses in the seat and win football game? We saw Hugh Freeze go win SEC Media Day. Didn't benefit Auburn in no kind of way. You know, a lot of guys know how to get up there and say the right things. You know how it is, how the politics. You know how the game go. They're gonna say all the right things, but if what you saying don't match up with what's on the field in August and September, is all for nothing. But I say, out of these, I answer the question like you asked. If you ask me who needs to win SEC Media Days, shit. I'm gonna go with my coach. Not that, I think all of them kind of in the same boat. I think outside of Lane and Golden, I think Ole Miss, you know what I mean? They pretty satisfied with what they got in Golden. Just the fact that how he stuck with them after Lane did them. So that bought him some time regardless right there. So you're looking at Silverfield, Golesh, and Sumrall, if you ask me. Sumrall, folk gonna love him. We already know Sumrall. He gonna say all the right things. Silverfield, he gonna say all the right things. But I think there's a lot of hype surrounding the Auburn football program, believe it or not.
Interesting.
So you look at ESPN, got us preseason ranked 22. I mean, for a team that hadn't had a winning season in the 2000s. That's a pretty fair ranking if you ask me for Auburn. Man, you think about it, since 2020, we hadn't had a winning season.
Wow, that's interesting. You think it's a fair ranking?
In the 2020s, Auburn has not finished with a winning season from 2020 all the way up until now. So to have us ranked 22, I like that. That's showing that somebody sees something that they like about Auburn.
Hey, I don't see what they see, but it is what it is. I mean, the reason why I asked this question is because there's a narrative that goes around in this Auburn talk space of why certain players aren't getting certain awards or getting recognition for what it is.
Hold on, man. You say you don't see what they see.
And what? Why Auburn should be 22? Yeah, no, I don't see it.
Yeah. But okay, they say the same thing.
Tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I don't see it, because a lot of those preseason rankings are based off of not what you're gonna do this season, but what a lot of people see what those teams have on the roster and based on what they did last year. And as you said, in the 2020s, Auburn has not had a winning record in the 2020s. So what about Auburn right now tells you that they are the number 22 team in the country now?
Could they be making a case for because we all kind of been making the same case all season. He bring his quarterback with him. Auburn's situation really different from everybody else with a first-year head coach, honestly. He brought half of his offense with him. Everybody else starting over offensively and defensively. Auburn got the same defensive coordinator with most of the same defensive players. So I can kind of see what they're saying. If we saying Byron Brown, even though I'd be messing with him, call him a fullback. I think he could be a hell of a fullback. You know what I mean? But that's a quarterback that's been in the system with the offensive coordinator, with the head coach, with his receivers. With a defense that's already established?
I'm not down to you. I'm just telling you from my opinion. I don't get it. Bubba, which one of these coaches need to have a great need to win media days moving forward, especially if they're a new face in a new place?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, does it really matter that much? Like, to be honest,
Yeah,
I mean, as far as like Jon Sumrall was a very, I don't know the word, but it was well received and also poorly received, depending on which side of the fan base you were on. I don't think he can do anything in media day to necessarily win anybody over. Silverfield wasn't very well received by Arkansas Twitter, which I didn't know was a thing, but apparently it is. They do have a community on Twitter, apparently. I think Pete Golding has built up a decent amount of goodwill with just winning a playoff game and rallying and all that stuff. So if I'm being honest, the person that has the most to gain is probably Silverfield. Maybe he can get himself to neutral and see if he can win some football games this year. But as far as like Sumrall, he's just not good behind a microphone. That's not really his thing. So I don't necessarily think he's going to knock it out of the park or anything. Pete Golding and Golesh are boring, so I don't think they're necessarily going to hit it out the park either. So I think Silverfield has the most to gain.
I think the way that a coach goes into media days, into what's considered to be one of the biggest and what a lot of people, well, I'm just saying the biggest media day that it is out there. The way he responds, the way he interacts with the media, because the media are the ones that votes for these players that are on your team. The media are the ones that kind of shapes the narrative of how a team looks. So if a coach is able to go into media days and be able to control the narrative, be able to look polished, be able to look like he's in control, to be able to look as if he knows exactly what it is that he's doing and what it is that his team is going to do. If he's able to do that, then I think he gains a little bit of favor with the media. And then the question about it is, when you go into the next offseason, you start seeing teams, and then if you back that up with winning, I think you start looking at a lot of guys that are on your roster at that particular point in time. Now you start seeing those guys as preseason All-Americans. They're on these lists, first, second, third team type guys, because the media feels endeared to that coach and that program. That's the reason why this question was asked. And your thoughts? Who needs to win? Who needs to win SEC media days in your opinion?
I think it's between Sumrall and Golden. Sumrall, because let's just be honest, out of everybody on this list, he probably had the most to prove that he's not a catfish Billy.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, come on now. Y'all know Florida didn't want Sumrall for real. I mean, they already had one G5 coach, so their expectations not that high with Sumrall for real.
Really? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's a bold statement. I'm just gonna say that. Okay. All right.
Golden only because of the him and Lane feud that's gonna happen. I think that'll be the start of one of the greatest rivalries in SEC football for the 2020s.
Okay. Okay.
Because Lane is not gonna sit there and duck and dodge a chance to take a jab at Ole Miss.
He's not gonna take a jab at anybody. So
right. I think Pete Golden comes out the corner swinging on him.
Okay. Wow. So we gonna see people. We gonna see a Bam out of Bayou and Tyler Hero situation at SEC media days. What you trying to say?
You know what?
Well, I think Kiffin would at least swing back.
Oh wow, good. That's a good one.
Wow, come on.
That's a great one. That's a great one. Because you said Tyler Hero this week. But okay, I got you.
Man, Tyler Hero already went in on the sides and undermatched. I don't know why he tried.
I'm telling
you. Anyway, we'll talk about that later, man.
Yeah, Big Sarge put something in chat. He said Golesh provides the most detail during his interactions with the media. He does do that.
He does do that.
But he also sometimes says a lot of stuff that doesn't even say much if you think about it. It's good. Like sometimes I'm not gonna say it's fluff, but sometimes it's just good at just you ever just like if you ever wrote a paper in school, you just kind of you need to just it's a word kind that you gotta have, and sometimes you just need that. Just add words to it. Sometimes he does that. You know,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I look at it and I say, man, I just think if he's able to go ahead and just endear himself, I think if Golden, like I said, Lane Kiffin's on this list because Lane Kiffin's the new head coach at LSU, but it really is between those four guys. You know, if Golesh is able to go in here and basically like endear himself with the media and then back that up with a winning season, you know, this upcoming season. I mean, I think you start looking at going into the 27 season, you'll start looking at a lot of those guys that's coming back as like, okay, this guy, they'll be like, this guy Auburn preseason, and then the narrative that you hear in this Auburn talk space about guys getting disrespected, well, because they're not on the list or they're ranked too low. You won't see that much because the people that make these lists are the media.
Could media days be the difference
between what?
No, I'm sorry. Could media days be the difference between these teams making the college football playoff and not if they have tied records and on the fringe? Let's say Auburn is at 10-2 and Ole Miss is at 10-2.
I don't know about that. That's a good question, man.
I think fan base over media in that instance, because they're gonna wonder who's gonna put the most in the seats, and I think Auburn will put more than Ole Miss.
The reason I say this is like, what happens if you drum up a good narrative at media day? We know how powerful narratives are in college football. We can't pretend like they don't determine the outcomes and who people vote for and all that stuff. We're seeing it right now with the preseason list. Like narratives are in full play. And if one of these coaches can drum up a good narrative around their program and they're tied with another team of one of these coaches who just bombed at media days, could that be the difference between
I think
the
if the
committee
coach,
going in there and saying like, hey, yeah, we going with this team?
I think if the coach carries that narrative throughout the season and makes a point to do that in like post-game interviews and Monday press conferences and things like that, if it's like a grit thing that Golesh does and it's just like a consistent shtick that he plays throughout the whole season, I can see that.
I think the coach that goes to media days, well, any media days, and because it's gonna be blasted nationally because a lot of people don't see it. I think the coach that goes to media days and looks polished and has the answers that a lot of people be like, okay, that's pretty good. If their team is a French team, I think that could possibly give them an edge. But if a coach goes to media days and just it's not good, but the team still wins, or I'm gonna tell you about it. If a coach goes to media days and that coach is and he's not good in front of the camera, and that team is on the fringe, I think I think there could be some kind of bias towards that and just be like, yeah, we can pick the other guy. I literally believe that. Go ahead, Ant, go ahead.
So my question is, out of this list, which coach really got the most to lose? I think that's who really needs to win media days.
I don't think any of these coaches have anything to lose, because I think Lane Kiffin, you know what you get with Lane Kiffin. All the rest of them are pretty much working with a blank slate. So I don't think any coach has anything to lose, in my personal opinion. It could be a difference of opinion from other people, but I don't think there's anything to lose. I think Pete Golden has a lot to gain from that perspective, because people already feel as if he won those 2 playoff games with Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss's offense. So I still think that he still has some stuff to prove, according to a lot of people in the talk space. The other 3, they brand new to the conference, man. Lane Kiffin, you know what Lane Kiffin does. Like, you know what he gonna do. So I don't think there's anything, in my opinion, that any of these guys have to lose. I think every one of them have something to prove to the media, in my opinion. That's just me though. I'm
the complete opposite of that, bro. I think that Pete Golden has a ton of loot. Like, I think he can talk his way into bad favor with Ole Miss fans, just simply because, you know, Lane Kiffin was there majority of the season, and you're following somebody who is looked at nationally as a great football mind and offensive mind. Man, you can go into this media days and say all the wrong things, and they would not like. I could see a world where they would not like you at Ole Miss anymore.
Possibility.
I think that would take like an Adam Gase intro press conference type bad performance.
Possibility could happen. It's possibility it could not. But we gonna see though, because SEC Media Days happens next week, and we will be here to cover all of it. Ladies and gentlemen, It is what it is. We're gonna see what they're talking about on SEC Media Day starting next Monday, as a matter of fact. So we'll be there getting ready to rock and roll with it. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you so man. Make sure that y'all go to DOICH.com, man. Use WCTS. You get 20% off your order if you go to DOICHFoods.com, man. It helps us out here at the channel, man.
Game day just got sweeter with DOICH, the delicious, high-protein snack that's plant-based, gluten-free, dairy-free, and low in sugar. Visit DOICHFoods.com and use discount code WCTS for 20% off your order. That's DOICHFoods.com, code WCTS for 20% off.
Life moves fast. Protect the people you love. Secure your future with life insurance. Or build generational wealth through real estate. Freddie Metro is here to help with trusted guidance. Protecting families, building legacies, creating wealth. Call Freddie Metro now. Hit the link and try it now.
Follow Water Cooler Talk Sports on social media.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Water Cooler Talk Sports. We're on the cooler. And we appreciate y'all, man. Looking at that Georgia skyline right there. I went and filmed that myself, man. So shout out to me. Man, we back in this thing, man. Xavier Atkins, man. One of the bright spots on this defense for last season, man. And essentially, preseason All-American. Well, he is preseason All-American. Was an All-American last year as well. But on Sunday's show on Uptempo Podcast, man, me and Dustin had a conversation. And we kind of got into a debate about what would his numbers look like for the upcoming season in 2026. And I asked, we kind of came to an agreement, and we asked the questions of, will Xavier Atkins have a 100 tackles and 10 sack season? You look at what he did in the 2025 season: 84 total tackles, 17 tackles for loss, 9 sacks, and 1 interception. When you look at those numbers, you look at those stats, and you see what's coming back on the defensive side of the football. I asked the question to the chat. I'm starting with Bubba on this one, man. Will Xavier Atkins be a 110 guy this upcoming season?
I don't know. Number one, it depends on how heavy the rotation is at linebacker, because you're all getting DeMarcus Riddick back. Bryce Deese is stepping into his second season, so I think that'll play a factor. Also, sacks for an off-ball linebacker are very volatile because a lot of it's dependent on your pressure packages and whether you get home and you finish those sacks, and are your edge guys, are they getting home? So I think the 10 sacks is more of an issue for me than the 100 tackles. He can absolutely get 100 tackles because he's probably going to be the best athlete on the field. The 10 sacks is where I'm more I'm very unsure, because that's very difficult to predict.
Okay. All right. Your thought says, could he be a 110 guy at the end of the season?
Yeah, I think he has the ability to do it. A couple things. One, you got an offense that's aiming at 95 plays a game. So this defense is probably going to be on the field more, or just as much, or more than they were last year. What does give me pause about it, though, is like what Bubba said. What is the rotation going to be? Specifically at will, because that is, for a lot of teams, a rotational position. I expect Elijah Melendez to play a true middle linebacker and handle everything that's coming downhill. But sideline to sideline, Xavier Atkins is as best as they get. He's not just tackling running backs; he's tackling everybody. Anything that moves in these offenses, he's tackling them. And a lot of these offenses do run plays. A lot of these offenses are sideline to sideline offenses now in college football. So I think he has that. The sacks, 100 tackles, I think he can get. The sacks are a bit of a question. What does give me hope about that is, man, when DJ Durkin dials up pressure, it gets home.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It just does. The knock on DJ Durkin is third and Durkin when he doesn't bring pressure. But But when he actually decides he wants to dial up a blitz, it gets home. And Xavier Atkins last year was one of the best at that, at rushing the passer. So yeah, I think it's a legit possibility. And if he doesn't reach it, it's because it would be probably because of the rotation, honestly.
The year man Tatteo was a Heisman Trophy finalist. He had 113 total tackles in the season. I think he had like 5 interceptions. I think he had like 1.5 tackle. I mean, 1.5 sack, something like that. But I think he
never came out of the game though.
Never came out of the game. Yeah,
and
but
he was a true Mike. He was a true Mike backer.
Those were his stats though. But these are his stats. So I asked the question to you, Kid Country man. Can Xavier Atkins, will he be a 100 tackles and 10 sack guy?
Could he? Yes. Will he? I don't know about. I think he can get to 10 sacks before he get to 100 tackles, and here's why.
Okay.
Golesh had made it very clear. He want a very aggressive defense. He ain't with the bend but don't break style defense. One thing we know about DJ Durkin is he can draw up some exotic pressures. We know that Xavier Atkins can get home to the quarterback. What we don't know is what we have on the edges right now. So I can see a scenario where they turning Xavier loose to get to the quarterback on third down in all different ways. Being that we don't, you don't have a Keyron Crawford, you don't have a Keldrick out on the edge. Not saying that the guys that we have out there can't get pressure, you know what I mean? But it's kind of an unknown. So I look for Durkin to be way more aggressive than he was even last year with his blitz. I look for the blitz ratio to really ramp up because he got a head coach that want the ball back. Do whatever you got to do to get the ball back. So I can see a scenario where he may get the 10 tackles, and I don't see why he won't get hell of a close to the 10 sacks. I don't see what that 100 tackles. There's gonna be a lot of rotation thing with him, but I look when it past a rushing situation, I'm expecting him to be on the field in some form or fashion. So
Durkin said that in a press conference, he said that Xavier Atkins just scratched the surface. And just scratching the surface is 84 tackles, 9 sacks, 1 interception, 17 tackles for loss. I'm curious to see exactly what it is when he gets through that surface. And your thoughts on this, man? Can he be a 110 guy next season?
Easy.
It's an easy work, huh?
Easy work. This is your best athlete on defense.
Oh, okay. All right. On defense, okay.
Why would I take him off the field in any situation? Unless he's hurt. That's the only way I don't see him getting that stat. Either one of those stats.
Okay. All right. I want to go on the record and say
you listen to a coach now, the guy that backing him up might be the best athlete on defense now. That's what they said. Bryce D might be the best athlete.
I'm just gonna say that they have this defense gonna look way different than last year. That's about the best I can tell you.
Okay.
I want everybody to be surprised when they see certain schemes and packages. Because if y'all think what DJ did last year was something, he got some tricks up his sleeve this year.
Okay. All right. And that's
just first snap of the Baylor game, just 7 off-ball linebackers on the field.
I mean, being honest, you got the team, you got the speed at linebacker to do that, though.
No, you don't.
That's
Maybe not 7.
You're not putting 7 off ball. No, we're not doing it.
DeMarcus Gray's gonna play corner.
So wait.
What we gonna do? We will talk, but if it's just something that's just agreeing, we're not about to sit here. No, that's not gonna happen. No.
So you don't think
No, I don't think that. No.
Okay.
Not setting off line. No.
Handbag
Okay.
dive. Like I see that, I'm just like turn around and hand the ball over. You can't. You need some 300-pounders.
Exactly. You need a Malik Autry and a Jordan Crawford on the front line. You need a Cody Single up there. No, we're not doing that. I can't ride with you on that one. And I'm with you on the 100 tackles and the 10 sacks. I'm with you on that. But saying that, no, I can't go with that. I can't go that far.
And been getting real creative on that college football 27.
Hey, Ted, watch out now. Stop telling them a little secret.
All right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a good one, man. We about to run this thing out. And we about to get into the conversation that everybody I think is here for. Because it's coming up right after this break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. But y'all know what it is. Before we get that thing rocking and rolling, man, I got 2371 Highway 14, Alabama. Give them a call today at the number on the screen.
Quarterback chatter, passing around stats, water cooler buzz, where the game's at. Grit on my tongue.
Game day starts with great food. At Adeline's by Chef Country, we bring championship flavor to every plate. From slow-smoked ribs to barbecue favorites, feeding the family or the tailgate, make Adeline's your first stop before kickoff.
Breaking Auburn news, recruiting updates, insider conversations, the stories Auburn fans care about most. When something happens across the Auburn football landscape, Auburn Addicts is there. From recruiting battles and transfer portal movement to game analysis and the latest headlines, Auburn Addicts keeps you connected. Join Auburn fans every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Auburn Addicts. Auburn football. All the time.
In the SEC, every game and every fan matters. Welcome to SEC Season, the ultimate interactive channel. Catch Launch Breaks with Tez, Tuesday to Thursday at 12:30. And SEC Season Live, Tuesday nights at 7:30. More than a channel, it's a community. Connect and debate with the most passionate fans in college sports. Subscribe today and join the Keyboard Collective. Subscribe to these YouTube channels. You won't regret it.
And welcome back to Around the Cool here on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network. Ladies and gentlemen, on our last show last Wednesday, Bubba brought up a tape. He asked the question, which would you take? LaNorris Sellers in 2025 or Payton Thorne in 2024? So we're going to have this debate tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And I want everybody on this panel and everybody that's in the comments, I need you all to weigh in on this because I want to see which way everybody goes. And to start it off, I'm going to give Bubba to get this thing rocking and rolling to get it started off, Bubba. Bubba, tell us why you're picking LaNorris Sellers over Payton Thorne. LaNorris Sellers 2025 season over Payton Thorne's 2024 season.
Firstly, it's interesting that you made this like the big thing of the show.
I surely did.
I guarantee you, we are the first people to ever have this conversation.
We are the first one.
This is a
Probably gonna be the
disgustingly dead point of the offseason conversation, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, Nick. But my entire point is that you cannot scout players based off box score stats. And this was the comparison I made because I never said Payton Thorne was bad in 2024. He was actually a lot better than he got credit for in that season, but he was not as good as his statistics would say. Conversely, LaNorris Sellers was much better last season than the statistics showed. And I think a big part of that was when you watch the tape, how bad the offensive system was, how bad the offensive line was, which you can see in the fact that they replaced all 5 starters on the offensive line going into this season. For some reason, their best receiver, in my opinion, last year, Jaden Sellers, did not play until mid-October, which was just another terrible coaching staff decision that they had. He was pressured last year 163 times. Thorne, we all know the offensive line wasn't good that year. He still only got 115 pressures. LaNorris Sellers was sacked 40 times, and I charted at least 27 of those were not on him. Payton Thorne was only sacked 27 times the entire season. So I just personally believe that LaNorris Sellers last year was a better football player than Payton Thorne was his last year at Auburn.
Tex, your thoughts on that?
Oh man. Well, if you've been watching Water Cooler long enough and watching me long enough, you know that I don't think Payton Thorne was that bad. Like, I really don't. During that season, when that season was going on, during that season, every episode I spat out what his total yards and touchdowns and interceptions were. And I warned Auburn fans that, hey, 2,700 yards, 21 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Keep that in your mind, right? And everybody told me, oh man, well, you just, it's the quarterback. We need a new trigger man. It's the quarterback. Well, we got one, right? And I think that everybody would love to have Payton Thorne back after we saw what we saw last year. So when I see this in this debate, I think that Payton Thorne, if you compare those two seasons, 2024 to 2025, I think Payton Thorne was a better quarterback than LaNorris Sellers. Now, at LaNorris Sellers' point, he did get sacked over 40-something times. The offense in general just wasn't that good. However, I saw an interesting article that said that quarterbacks that get sacked a lot in college also go on to get sacked a lot in the NFL. And I wish I had the article to show you guys so you could see the names that they had on there and how that actually correlates. So maybe, a lot of that was on LaNorris Sellers. Now, if you're asking me who I would take for a draft, my team, I'm taking LaNorris Sellers. But if we're comparing these two seasons, I promise you, I just don't think that in 2024, Payton Thorne was as bad as the narrative says, right? And the stats on the screen show it, right? He was better than LaNorris Sellers was in 2025. Like, one of the interesting points, because we talked about this before. You take away the Cal now. I'm playing the takeaway game. I know that you can take away. You start playing the takeaway game, all of a sudden you got an All-American. But walk with me here. If you take away the Cal game, you take away the narrative around the Cal game, and then that Oklahoma interception that was heard around the world, Payton Thorne was pretty efficient with the football. He just was. Like, it wasn't, of those 9 interceptions, 3 of them was against Cal. And then that one was against Oklahoma. Then I think he threw 2 against Georgia. Man, I don't know. The slander for Payton Thorne that year made me wonder what people were just watching. Were they watching games or just watching the highlight? I think a lot of people were just subscribing to ESPN, watching the highlights of how the game collapsed and not watching him throughout the entire season. All right. Hopefully, I know this is not the question, but hopefully Auburn fans and some of you guys in the chat understand now that a quarterback play can get worse, right? Than 2,700 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 9 picks. It's not always we just need a new quarterback because we got one. He wasn't that good. To answer your question directly, you compare those two seasons, I think Payton Thorne was better.
Edward, let me get your thoughts on this, man. Let's go with it.
So we got to go back. You say 2024 season, right?
Yeah, they on the screen. You got Payton Thorne.
That was pre-Cam Coleman.
No, that was Cam.
Phillip Monk.
That was freshman Cam Coleman.
Freshman Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman was there in the
2024.
Yes, Cam Coleman started.
That's freshman Cam Coleman.
Yeah,
2024 Cam Coleman wasn't on the roster.
Cam Coleman started in
him and Malcolm Simmons.
He was
matter of fact, in that Cal game, one of those interceptions was to Cam Coleman when he was hurt.
Yeah, because he.
Well, yeah, you're right. I got it mixed up. You're right. That was his freshman year.
That was the year Keandre Lemon-Smith was 19 yards away from being 1,000-yard receiver.
That was Keandre Lemon-Smith and Cam Coleman. You're right. My bad on that. LaNorris Sellers, 2025. So that was Hugh Freeze offense, right?
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, both.
Well,
20.
hell, I'm gonna take Payton Thorne because we seen who the problem was at Auburn. Payton Thorne, to me, I always said he wasn't as bad as what a lot of folks said he was. I don't think he was never the problem. You know, I don't think he was never the problem. LaNorris Sellers, I mean, he threw 13 TDs to 21 TDs. I got 3 more 100 yards. You know, I got 3 extra rushing TDs, but I'm not sold on LaNorris Sellers. I think Payton Thorne was just in a bad situation, man, with Hugh Freeze. No, I ain't gonna put LaNorris over. Even if I was starting the NFL team, give me Payton Thorne over LaNorris Sellers all day, any day. Because I think he's a coach kid. He's been around the game of football his entire life. He just came to Auburn and got in a bad situation. I mean, the kid threw for 3,000 yards at Michigan State, did he not?
He did. You're correct. He did.
True.
He came to a situation where the guy that called the plays on the golf field on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So, I mean, you put Payton Thorne with a legit offensive coordinator that's calling plays, he could have easily replicated that 3,000 yards.
Well, to your point, he was there. He was there. I mean, he was benched for a game and a half. You know, in that season against Arkansas, he was benched for the first half, and then he didn't play in the game before that. You know, that was Hank Brown's game. So, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was averaging somewhere like 220 some yards, 225, 226 yards. He was averaging passing per game. So if he does play a full game and then half of the half that he didn't play, he easily over 3,000. He's easily a 3,000 yard passer in that season. So I mean, and then to your point about at Michigan State, you have a guy was Keon Coleman was on that team, was a receiver he was throwing to as well at Michigan State.
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker was on that team. Keon Coleman actually went to Florida State. I think he transferred to Florida State and ended up getting drafted. So I mean, so you look at that and you see that type of thing right there. I don't know, man. I just look at it. If I'm looking at both seasons, I have to go with Payton Thorne in this one. And I just go back. My narrative is I just go back to LaNorris Sellers and like his passing yards actually went down this season in the 2025 season. 2024 season, he actually had 2,500 yards passing. This year he went down by like 93 yards. He went down, and his rushing yards went down by was the biggest drop. 600 plus yards rushing in 24 to 270. And I tell you the thing that it was, they just didn't have another rushing threat. Rocket Sanders in the 2024 season for South Carolina was that opposite threat. He rushed for 800 yards, to pair with LaNorris Sellers 600 in that 24 season. I think
the offensive line was I give
you that. But
it was not good.
But even with a better offensive line in the season they went to Alabama and almost won that game. In Alabama, there was really a fumble away from upsetting Alabama in that game. And going 9-3, and a lot of people saying they should have been a playoff team. Like his arm didn't change. Like his arm didn't change much. I don't think 100 yards is going to tell you the difference between what he would be able to do to throw the football from season to season. I just think that's what he is as a passer. I think he's a 2,500 yard passer. And we looking at Payton Thorne's numbers, and we sitting here saying if he would have played a whole game and a half, he would have been over 3,000 yards passing. That's just how I look at it.
Those are all fair points, but there's a lot of missing context. Number one, he lost his offensive coordinator, and I'd take Hugh Freeze a million times over Mike Shula, who hadn't been an on-field football coach in 4 years, and hadn't called plays in 7 years, and hadn't coached college football in over 20 years. So I think those are also really important points.
Fair point.
Also,
that's crazy, Bubba. So you're saying you would take nobody over Mike Shula because that's essentially what Hugh Freeze was. He wasn't even in the building.
And apparently every other program in the country said they would rather take nobody than Mike Shula for the last 20 years because his career had gone nowhere. His offense had been outdated since 2015 in Carolina. He got canned in Carolina, then got canned in New York. Then had not been an on-field coach since he got fired as a quarterback's coach in Denver. So it's just he had a horrible offense coordinator with a horrible offensive structure with a horrible offensive line. And even though Payton Thorne's situation was not good, it wasn't good. He had two freshman receivers that were two of his three best receivers. And Keandre Lambert-Smith, who was a great receiver, great college receiver, was not Keon Coleman and Jaden Reed, which he had at Michigan State. Absolutely. And again, I will echo the points that Payton Thorne was not a bad quarterback at Auburn at all. He was actually an above average quarterback at Auburn both years, which again proves my point that you cannot scout somebody based off box score statistics, because statistically he was bad his first year at Auburn. My whole point is LaNorris Sellers did actually get better this year, and you'll see that on tape. He was a better football player this year, but the running game couldn't go anywhere, not because Rashul Faison, who was a 1,000-yard rusher the year before, was a bad running back. He wasn't a bad running back. He's a really good college running back. The offensive line was that bad. The play calling was that bad. And the reason his rushing yards went down was because Mike Shula would not call quarterback-based runs. So they had an offense that was, first, poorly built schematically. The spacing was completely off. He looked like he had no idea what he was doing. Then you add in the fact that they did not play to his strengths for the entire season. That's all my point is.
So to that point, should we see 2024?
We're going to see a better than 2024.
No. Okay. I was just about to ask that. So should we see Payton Thorne-esque numbers this season with LaNorris Sellers under Kendall Browse?
Firstly, I think yes, sure.
Okay, all right.
I'll put money on it if you want to.
I got a clue.
DM me. I'll put a solid 4 figures on it.
I got a clip.
Go ahead, Ant. We gotta get out of this. Go ahead.
Since Nick didn't choose me for my opinion, but y'all already knew who I was gonna pick anyway.
Exactly. That's
LaNorris Sellers. LaNorris Sellers will be a top 3 passer in the SEC.
Stop it.
Clip it.
Stop it.
I'm with Bubba. I'm with Bubba. I'll take a bet.
Stop it. So you sitting here telling me that LaNorris Sellers is going to throw for over 3,500 yards this year. Because if you look at the top 3 passers in the conference from the past couple of years, they've all been over 3,500 yards. So you sitting here telling me he's going to throw for 3,500 yards this year.
I think we should rerun that clip and make it top 7.
Please, I'm giving you the opportunity, and I'm giving you the opportunity right now.
Better yet, Ant. So you're saying that he throw for more yards than Byron Brown?
I mean, he might.
I'm just asking.
And I'm giving you the opportunity right now to change it before we get out of here.
Change what?
So you sticking with top 3 passes?
I stand on what I said.
All right. Sticking with it. All right.
I respect it. But I will not be putting 4 figures on that.
I'm just saying. All right, man. So that means
we're gonna talk about this in a minute.
So that means we about to get out of here in a minute. So that means I just want to put this on here. That means that LaNorris Sellers is going to throw for 3,500 plus yards this year.
Write it down.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Around the Cooler here on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network. We appreciate y'all so much for joining us here on Around the Cooler here on Water Cooler Talk Sports Network, man. Make sure that you all tune in tomorrow morning for the pregame playlist, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man, for coming in and rocking with us, man. It's the coolest playlist, got the best music that you can go out there and listen to. So come join us out, man. Tomorrow we'll be talking AFC North and NFC North. We'll be comparing both of those conferences and giving a preview of that. So we'll be talking that, man. And then, of course, everything else that comes with the pregame playlist, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to all y'all so much for rocking with us as well, man. For King Country, for your favorite insider, our favorite insider, and the insider. Well, Bubba and the old man, Auburn Sports Talk, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, for the man himself, Auburn Tez. Ladies and gentlemen.
It's happening.
This has been Around the Cooler. We appreciate y'all so much. Hit that like, hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Come subscribe to Water Cooler Talk Sports. We appreciate y'all so much, man. We will see you when we see you. As Martin did when he went out of the apartment for the last time. He wrote those 2 words on the wall. He wrote the words, one, love. Ladies and gentlemen, you all have a good one. You all be blessed. Y'all get the man upstairs above field because he deserves all the praise and all the glory. We'll see you in the morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time for the pregame playlist. Y'all be easy, man. One love. Peace.
This has been a presentation of Water Cooler Talk Sports.